Welcome to this visual explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating conceptual journey found in the text of Surah Luqman. We're going to explore what is honestly a structural masterpiece. It takes us all the way out to the vast, unimaginable cosmos, and then zooms right back in deeply into a father's intimate advice to his son. It's this incredible study in contrasts, the macro and the micro, and I am super excited to guide you through it. Here is our quick roadmap for today. We're covering 4 main areas. First, the guidance of the wise book. Second, Luqman's advice to his son. Third, God's signs in creation. And finally, the keys of the unseen knowledge. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Guidance of the Wise Book. Right out of the gate, the text hits us with a really stark behavioral contrast. On one side, we've got the righteous. These are people who actively build up their spiritual foundations. They establish prayer, they give charity, and they hold this firm, unshakable belief in the hereafter. But then, contrast that with what the text calls the buyers of idle talk. Now, these are individuals who literally purchase empty distractions. They mislead others blindly, completely without knowledge, and they actually mock the clear signs presented to them. The text uses this powerful phrasing, saying they have deafness in their ears to wisdom. So right away, we are presented with this profound dichotomy between purposeful living and willful ignorance. From that focus on human behavior, the narrative suddenly sweeps us all the way out into a macroscopic view of creation. Look at the imagery here. The text challenges us to really observe the natural world around us. It points to the heavens, raised incredibly high without any visible pillars holding them up. It points to the earth, stabilized by these massive, anchoring mountains so it doesn't shake beneath our feet. And then the life-giving rains sent down from the sky to grow every kind of noble plant. It's an open invitation to recognize a deliberate, intelligent design behind the physical universe. It's essentially asking us to just look up and look around with a deep sense of awe. Moving right along to Section 2, Luqman's advice to his son. So we just looked at the massive, overwhelming scale of the universe, right? Well, now the text zooms all the way into a deeply intimate biological reality. Before getting into the father's exact words, there's this fascinating interlude about parenthood. It brilliantly illustrates the intense physical and emotional progression of maternal sacrifice. Step 1, the mother bears the child in weakness upon weakness. Step 2, that physical toll continues as the child is weaned over a period of 2 years. And then, Step 3, this all culminates in the ultimate directive, that gratitude is owed first to God and immediately after that to your parents. By structuring it this way, gratitude isn't just painted as some polite social gesture. It's framed as a foundational human duty deeply rooted in our biological and emotional reality. Now we actually get to the core of Luqman's advice to his son. The absolute crucial point of his teaching is captured in this unforgettable imagery. He says, "O my son, indeed, if wrong should be the weight of a mustard seed and should be within a rock or in the heavens or in the earth, Allah will bring it forth." Just think about the scale of that for a second. A mustard seed is incredibly, microscopically tiny. Now imagine that tiny seed hidden away deep inside a solid rock, or just floating somewhere out in the infinite expanse of the heavens we were just talking about. It is the ultimate contrast of scale. And really, it all boils down to this: absolute divine awareness. Luqman is making sure his son understands that there is an inescapable, penetrating awareness of even our most microscopic, deeply hidden actions. Whether it's a tiny, secret good deed or some minor bad habit you think nobody sees, it is known, and it will be brought forth. He's setting a profound baseline of internal moral accountability, and he does this before he gives even a single external rule for behavior. Once that ultimate internal accountability is locked in, Luqman rattles off these rapid-fire, highly practical ethical commands. Just look at this list. He tells his son to establish prayer, to actively encourage what is right, forbid what is wrong, and to be patient over whatever afflictions come his way in life. But then he pivots right into everyday social etiquette. Don't turn your cheek to people in arrogance. Walk moderately. Lower your voice. He even points out that the harshest of all sounds is the braying of a donkey. It's such a striking, funny, auditory metaphor to teach vocal moderation. It really is a complete ethical toolkit, moving effortlessly from deep spiritual truths to how you treat people on the street. Okay, let's move to Section 3, God's signs in creation. I want you to hold the number 7 in your mind for a second. It anchors one of the most visually striking metaphors in the entire source material, and it's completely designed to stretch our comprehension of the infinite. the text invites us to do this massive thought experiment. Imagine if every single tree on planet Earth was suddenly transformed into a pen. Got it? Now imagine the entire ocean is made of ink. And then that ocean is replenished by 7 more oceans of ink. The text states that even if you used every single one of those pens and all of that ink to write down the knowledge and words of God, they would never be exhausted. Literally, the physical resources of our entire planet, multiplied by 7, would dry up before divine knowledge did. It's just a brilliant way to illustrate how infinitely vast divine reality is compared to our little, finite physical world. Sticking with that incredible ocean metaphor, the text brings us right back down to humans actually trying to navigate the sea. And this juxtaposition hits the nail on the head when it comes to human frailty. On one side, when people are out on stormy seas and massive waves are crashing over them like dark canopies, the text notes that they call out to God with absolute, pure, sincere devotion. Their belief is crystal clear when they're terrified. But then look at the right side. The second they are saved and their feet touch safe land, they turn away. They suddenly become merely moderate in their faith or just outright ungrateful. It's this fascinating kind of timeless psychological observation about how comfort almost always breeds complacency. Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Keys of the Unseen Knowledge. The text issues this incredibly humbling, stark reminder of the Day of Judgment. It describes it as a day when no father can avail his son, nor can a son avail his father in the slightest. Think back to that beautiful, deeply protective advice Luqman was giving his son earlier. The text is now contrasting that earthly bond by stating that in the ultimate reckoning, every single individual stands completely alone. It strips away even the closest earthly relationships we just analyzed, reminding us not to get totally swept away by the illusions of our worldly lives. And that sense of ultimate isolation leads right into the dramatic concluding verses of the chapter. It breaks down 5 absolute unknowns, the keys of the unseen, that the text explicitly says are reserved exclusively for God's knowledge. They are, number 1, knowledge of the exact time of the final hour. 2, exactly when and where the rain will fall. 3, the intimate reality of what is in the wombs. 4, what a soul will earn tomorrow. And 5, in exactly what land a soul will die. It is a really powerful closing statement about the absolute limits of human perception and our illusion of control. So I'm going to leave you with this one deeply provocative thought derived directly from that list of unknowns. What will your soul earn tomorrow? We spend so much of our time planning and stressing, but as this text so powerfully demonstrates through its journey from the vast, immeasurable heavens right down to a tiny mustard seed, so much of reality remains entirely beyond our grasp. This question is an invitation to really reflect on our limitations, the serious weight of our daily choices, and how we choose to walk upon the earth today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the profound wisdom around you.